As Beyoncé flees after robbing an Oriental restaurant, the FBI is already hot on her tail. However, she uses her bike to make a 33-degree turn, evading the officers effortlessly. After swerving away from the agents, she enters the secret base of operations for the Illuminati. Among the ranks of the Illuminati was the DEI hire, Beyoncé, the bronze of the group, Chuck Norris, Kenneth Copeland, the public relations officer, Jake Paul, Jean-Luc Brunel, the recruiter, and the mastermind behind everything, Palm Beach Pete. With this sacred treasure map, they were able to triangulate the exact coordinates of the first ever AliExpress factory in China to unlock all sorts of ancient technologies to resell to the masses at premium prices. As Pete enters the ancient factory, smelling the riches that hid within, he gets excited and immediately caught in a trap. However, right in front of him stood the legendary 3D printed 1000% polyester Chinese relic. As he reached out to scalp it, the ancient guardians of the CCP could sense his desires to monopolize on their work and came out to secure their funds in the name of their supreme leader. However, Palm Beach Pete was far too powerful, taking them down with ease. As Pete absorbs all the taxpayer dollars of the CCP, he is faced with even more CCP soldiers. As Pete narrowly evaded the communists, the Illuminati arrived just in time to ditch him and take his hard-earned stolen funds. As the Rabbah of Tel Aviv Torah Academy finishes her daily teachings of the Talmud, she asks the class for their desired future career paths. As the class answered with typical responses like a war criminal, evil CEO, or a welfare leech, there was only one goy that had bigger aspirations. Lil Yahu wanted to be a IDF soldier, but not just any soldier. He wanted to be the greatest Israeli soldier the world has ever known. As the class erupts into laughter, Talmud 101 ends for the day, and while everyone else came running into their parents' arms, Lil Yahu had his soldiers LARP as his guardians. After the soldiers assault Yahu with their affection, they speed off in the distance. As he skips the movie line with his admin privileges, Yahu uses toxic gas fumes to air out an entire theater of goys to enjoy the movie alone with his most loyal soldiers. Although Lil Yahu's mother was absent for most of his life, his soldiers were always there for him, and that was all that mattered. Behind every heinous war crime that Lil Yahu committed, he could bear any consequence as long as his soldiers had his back. After tempting the slaves simulating the hunt with Goyslop, he comes back home to find a letter from the Illuminati and rush to open it. As Lil Yahu comes home from a day full of terrorizing goys and abusing admin privileges, he looks through his mail and finds a message from the Illuminati. As he rushes to find a secluded spot to open the message, Beyoncé's hologram is emitted, informing Big Yahu about the details surrounding his Illuminati induction ceremony. After the message self-destructs, Lil Yahu comes inside and hears loud moans coming from his mother. After catching his foid mother with the fifth alleged personal trainer this week, Mother Yahu tells him that she was busy, and Yahu storms off. As Lil Yahu and his loyal IDF soldiers enter their secret underground tunnels under construction, he began giving them words of encouragement before gathering all the soldiers for a massive announcement. After telling them about his invitation to the Illuminati, the IDF cheer on Yahu. However, Nuxtaku couldn't read the room and began talking about his daily Jaden Animations gooning session. As Lil Yahu shuts him down, he tells the IDF to get ready for tomorrow and leaves to get some sleep. As he checked the room for Palestinian children in paranoia, he only finds his most beloved soldier, Noah Schnapp. After realizing that Noah was afraid as well, Lil Yahu invites him to snuggle together in his Iron Dome, alongside Ehud Barak and Ben Shapiro, where safety was guaranteed. As Palm Beach Pete gets betrayed by the Illuminati, with Beyoncé taking his place as the top ringleader who planned on launching a turf war on the CIA to expand their control, Pete was enraged that a colored person, and a woman at that, would be the one who took over the empire that his ancestors built brick by brick. As his guards asked for their payment, Pete couldn't stand a goy taking his hard-earned cash and gave them a little lesson in Krav Maga. As this was happening, Lil Yahu began preparing for his induction ceremony for the Illuminati. Just as he was about to leave, his most loyal IDF soldiers waited outside to accompany him. However, Lil Yahu was reluctant to bring them along, as although he was grateful for their undying support and loyalty, the Illuminati only invited the cream of the crop, and Lil Yahu was unsure if the IDF could rise to the occasion. After ditching his soldiers, Ehud Barak, Noah Schnapp, and Ben Shapiro were left to deal with Nuxtaku, who desperately wanted to get involved. After tricking Nuxtaku into a game of hide-and-seek, the soldiers tailed Yahu. As Lil Yahu locates the Illuminati's hideout, he began asking around, and is almost immediately trafficked. However, the local rabbi steps in to relieve the tensions. As Lil Yahu thanks the rabbi, he began acting suspicious. As Rabbi Bill Clinton shows Lil Yahu to the secret entrance to the Illuminati's hideout, he wishes Lil Yahu good luck for his induction ceremony. As Lil Yahu dissected the subliminal messages through sound frequencies in Beyoncé's song or something like that, he finishes the introductory trial and is granted access to the underground compartment where the Illuminati resided. As Lil Yahu Yahu waits in the lobby with some fellow inductees. He finally gets summoned for the ceremony. As Yahu walks up to the council and began nervously explaining why he was the perfect candidate for the sixth member of the Illuminati, Beyoncé questions why Jean-Luc Brunel kept inviting kids to their meetings and dismissed Yahu. As Beyoncé humiliates Yahu in front of the Illuminati council and flexed the relic that they stole from the CCP, Yahu was left embarrassed and heartbroken. However, as they humiliated another contestant, Yahu sniffs a window of opportunity to steal their ancient Chinese artifact. As he uses the gadget that Rabbi Bill gave to him, he manages to sneak away from them before he got caught. As the alarms trigger, Rabbi Bill lets him walk free, and Yahu wastes no time doing just that. While this was all happening, Palm Beach Pete was keeping a close eye on Yahu and his IDF soldiers. As Yahu flees from the Illuminati with his IDF companions after stealing their Saturn worship relic from China, Palm Beach Pete maneuvers around to get a better look at Yahu. After successfully outrunning Jake Paul, Yahu gets brake checked and is forced to leave Nuxtaku with the relic as Kenneth Copeland spots him. Just before Yahu could floor it, Chuck Norris is already in the way, unleashing a deadly combo attack with Kenneth Copeland. Luckily, Yahu manages to wiggle out of it with his petite frame, and the two took each other down. However, Beyoncé wasn't just going to let Yahu get away, and uses her chains to attach herself to his bike. This would turn out to be a big mistake, as Yahu reveals that it was an IDF warbike capable of incinerating defenseless civilians, forcing Beyoncé to abandon her target. After successfully evading the Illuminati, the IDF throw a grand celebration in the name of their supreme leader. As Nuxtaku safely returns, Yahu is left disappointed as the Saturn worship relic is lost. After Nuxtaku explained the story of how he lost it after trading it for Jaden animation merch, Yahu is furious and abandons the IDF for their incompetence. As Ehud Barak tries to mediate the situation, Yahu already had his mindset and slams the door on him. However, leaving from the safety of his Iron Dome would be a massive mistake, as he was almost immediately kidnapped by mysterious forces. After Yahu gets kidnapped by Palm Beach Pete, knowing what would happen next, Yahu begs him to be gentle. However, Pete just wanted the ancient AliExpress relic from China that he stole from the Illuminati so that he could put it up on his Saturn altar. As Yahu tries to explain his situation, the guards force his hand, and Pete learns that Yahu lost the relic. After Pete signals his guards, Yahu is suddenly left dangling hundreds of feet up. As Pete demands Yahu for the relic, Yahu tries to convince him that he didn't know where it was. Not wanting to leave empty-handed, Pete decides to ransom Yahu instead. As Yahu dials the IDF's number, the soldiers rush to hear from their supreme leader. As Ehud Barak picks up the call, Palm Beach Pete gets to the point and tells them to pull up to 358 El Brillo Way with the AliExpress relic, or else Yahu would cease to exist. After hearing this, the IDF decide to interrogate Nuxtaku, who originally lost the relic. As they demanded him to explain the details, Ehud Barak finally gets useful information after threatening his terabytes. As they pull up to the culprit's house to retrieve the relic, Nuxtaku spots a suspicious person and realizes that the relic was in his possession. As the Israel Defense Force search for the ancient AliExpress Saturn worship emblem to raise enough funds to pay for Yahu's ransom fee from Palm Beach Pete, their investigations lead them to Ginger Fringe, who claimed that Tupac Shakur had taken possession over it. As they leave with many loose ends, they decide to go in brute force and free their supreme leader. As they arrive at Tel Aviv airport, after hearing about the extortionate flight prices, the soldiers decided to lark their way to Palm Beach, Florida. As they sneak on board as pilots, their lack of experience was clear, nearly crashing into the World Trade Center before getting their insurance sorted out. After the initial hiccup, Ben Shapiro gets sick from all the sudden adrenaline and cortisol spikes, while Ehud Barak decides to take a quick break before landing. As he wakes up from his nap, he realizes that he was right above Palm Beach and makes a 270-degree turn, landing with no complications. While this was happening, Palm Beach Pete was tying up Yahu for some deviant activities, but how could Yahu be scared when his hero was going to be his first time getting hanky-panky? However, Pete wasn't up to any of his usual deplorable shenanigans. Instead, he was just going to keep Yahu on the ropes until his ransom payment arrived. As the IDF soldiers finally arrived at 358 El Brillo Way in Palm Beach, Florida to save their young supreme leader from Palm Beach Pete, they first scope out the perimeters for any hostile threats and weak spots. As the guards were locked in their Krav Maga training session, the soldiers attempt to sneak past them. However, Noah Schnapp failed his Mossad training course, which led to him being caught immediately, forcing his comrades to flee the scene and abandon their mission. As the soldiers ran for their lives, the chase leads them to Chinatown, where they were quickly cornered and got BTA. While this was happening, as a local masseur was giving her client a happy ending, she hears commotion outside and comes out to silence them. As the guards taunted her, Mrs. Miyagi springs into action with her legendary stroke-up, stroke-down egg roll technique with pure teeth, leading them to a bad ending. Seeing Mrs. Miyagi's prowess, the IDF soldiers asked to learn the art of happy endings. However, Miyagi didn't want the power to end up in the wrong hands. As Ben Shapiro tries to pressure her with his Ray-Bans, she manipulates her client's blood flow to swaddle him in the face, making her intentions clear. However, after Noah Schnapp puts his acting skills to use, Mrs. Miyagi gives in and thus the soldiers became her pupils, the Krav Maga kids. After the Illuminati finally locate the whereabouts of Lil Yahu, they all hop in their respective evil vehicles, Jake Paul in his gold digger, Jean-Luc Brunel in the child abductor, Chuck Norris in his tank, and Kenneth Copeland in his Hanukkah convertible. With this despicable lineup, not even the CIA or IDF could stop them. Meanwhile, at the Yahu residence, as Mother Yahu and her friends gather for Shabbat, the Illuminati busts through her roof and demands for Lil Yahu to surrender. However, Mother Yahu isn't fazed in the slightest and threatens to call her lawyers, which angered Kenneth Copeland. As Beyonce threatens some innocent and harmless IDF soldiers, she learns that Palm Beach Pete was still alive and working with Lil Yahu, and sets out to finish her job. As this was happening, Mrs. Miyagi shows the IDF soldiers to the Egg Roll Dojo, where they would learn the sacred arts of happy endings. But first, they needed the foundations. When faced with an unconquerable foe, brute force will only wear you out and attrition will become your biggest detriment. Instead, precision and accuracy was key, targeting the enemy's vulnerable spots to guarantee triumph. As the soldiers failed every training regiment, Mrs. Miyagi decides to take it up a notch and instill true discipline and focus into the IDF soldiers, accelerating their growth. After Palm Beach Pete's guards desert him for being paid minimum wage, among some other minor issues, Palm Beach Pete does the unthinkable and decides to free Lil Yahu from his torture chambers to work for him. As Pete enjoys the nice Florida weather, Lil Yahu is forced to do Pete's bidding, feeding his pet alligators that he probably used to get rid of all the evidence. After nearly falling victim to the gators, Pete decides to show Yahu how it was done. However, Pete was actually a fraud and had his servants do all his bidding for him, and lacked experience, which led to him getting dragged by the gators. Although Pete tortured Yahu for 49 hours straight, Yahu still idolized Pete and decided to save him before he could get death rolled by the gators. After Yahu saved the day, Pete realizes that this kid wasn't bad, not bad at all. As this was happening, Nuxtaku was hunting down Tupac Shakur for stealing the Illuminati's power-conjuring relic from China. As he neared the Mexican border, Tupac decides to help out Nuxtaku, who was on the verge of collapse, and brings Nuxtaku along his journey to run as far away as he can from the Illuminati. Meanwhile, as Mrs. Miyagi moves on to the next lesson in giving happy endings, she decides to stop going soft on the IDF soldiers and slowly turn them into a hard, unstoppable force. However, before she could grant them with their belt titles, the soldiers are already gone, ready to rescue their supreme leader. As Palm Beach Pete takes Lil Yahu to get his first loan, Lil Yahu gets the wrong idea as Pete enters the bathroom alone with him. However, he was just entering through the secret entrance of the BlackRock headquarters. As they began petitioning some new evil ideas to the BlackRock CEO for some loans, Pete LARPs as Lil Yahu's father so that he could build a shared connection with the BlackRock CEO over fatherhood. However, Lil Yahu couldn't keep his mouth shut, forcing Pete to go with Plan B. As Pete pretends to die, Lil Yahu sneaks to the vault while all the guards were focused on Pete. After Lil Yahu takes the BlackRock CEO's keys, Pete is able to stall enough time for Lil Yahu to open the vault and take the Mona Lisa. While this was happening, the IDF sneak into Palm Beach Pete's estate to rescue Lil Yahu. However, they find no traces of him. Suddenly, the Illuminati ransack through Pete's estate with the same goal in mind, and leave after realizing that Lil Yahu was missing. As Pete returns home, he is shocked to find his home in ruins, and see clues left behind from the Illuminati for karmic retribution. Seeing his friend hurt, Lil Yahu promises him that he would make them pay, and that the two could ascend to greater heights if they worked together. However, Pete wanted out of the villain life, leaving Lil Yahu to fight alone. As Lil Yahu sets out to stop the Illuminati, he finds one of his soldiers, Nuxtaku, with the ancient Oriental Freemason relic. With the powers of the relic, the Illuminati could be stopped forever. However, the Illuminati was always watching, and pulled up to put Lil Yahu's plans to a halt. Suddenly, blaring horns and black vans arrive at the scene, and the final battle between the CIA and Illuminati for dominance over the country started. Although they were outnumbered and surrounded, as the clock struck the 33rd minute, Beyonce uses the relic to activate her Freemason chakras and ascend her Illuminati comrades beyond their mortal coil, allowing them to easily overpower the CIA agents. To humiliate Yahu for stealing the relic, Beyonce subjects him to a slow and painful death. Luckily, the IDF soldiers arrived just in time to stop her. However, they were no match for Beyonce's advanced Freemasonry. As Beyonce chased down the soldiers, amongst the flame was the one who left it all behind, Palm Beach Pete. As the Illuminati prepare to fight Palm Beach Pete, they mock him for having no army. However, the IDF had his back. As they stood waiting for each other to make the first move, Lil Yahu's agonizing scream kickstarts the battle, and the two opposing sides engaged in lethal combat. As the IDF and Palm Beach Pete joined forces to stop the Illuminati and save Lil Yahu, at first the soldiers were no match for the Illuminati's ascended form after reaching the 33rd degree. However, after realizing that their supreme leader's life was on the line, the IDF soldiers finally used their innate Kabbalah powers to fight back. While the Illuminati were occupied with their awakened adversaries, Lil Yahu was freed by Nuxtaku, and immediately jumped to help in the battle. As Beyonce shifts her focus to Lil Yahu, Palm Beach Pete reveals himself at the last last second, perfectly positioning himself to take away the source of the Illuminati's powers. However, Beyonce was no longer a mindless goy who fell for Pete's dirty tricks and sent him straight to tongue. As the Illuminati regrouped to end the IDF once and for all, the soldiers got into formation and applied direct oral suction, which they learned from Mrs. Miyagi's happy ending parlor. As yahu grabs the ancient relic, he uses it to punish them for abusing its powers, turning them into little goys and taking their souls away forever. Although the IDF were victorious, they also faced a massive loss as well. As Palm Beach Pete was on the verge of death, he grants yahu his blessings to become the greatest villain of all time before getting taken away by the CIA. As the IDF and yahu hold a funeral for their fallen friend, Palm Beach Pete, who dedicated his life to train yahu into becoming the greatest Israeli soldier, teaching him tips and tricks of the banking system, and protecting him from the Illuminati when his XP bar was too low. It turns out that Pete was not with tongue, and that it was all an act so that he could evade his 49 consecutive life sentences and roam freely. After the IDF finished LARPing the funeral procession, the CIA chief executive tells yahu to keep it a secret before allowing the friends to reunite. Although Palm Beach Pete was a known criminal and former member of the Illuminati, since he helped take them down, he was allowed to go free under a new alias so that no one would notice. After getting the all clear from the CIA, Pete, yahu, and the IDF rode off into the distance, living off of welfare and taxpayer dollars somewhere in New York. A few months later, at the former Illuminati headquarters, as Rabbi Bill Clinton packs his bags, yahu comes in and tries to recruit him. However, Rabbi Bill Clinton was done with villainy after all of his closest friends were captured by the CIA and subjected to Hamas torture. To convince him, yahu offers his youngest, most succulent IDF soldiers, which was good enough for Bill. And thus, yahu was granted secret technology from the Pentagon and started his conquest to become the greatest Israeli soldier the world knows and loves to this day.